Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Gratitude Happy Hour. I'm Teri Angel, your host, and I have a very special guest co-host with me today, ShaRon Rea. Hi, ShaRon.
Hello, Teri. So happy to be here with you.
Oh, I'm thrilled that you're here. We have some chatting to do, but first, let's get this shared out so we can get people finding it. So
That's
I'm
what
going to
doing.
play one of my favorite songs that I think has a huge message. So just listen to the words as you're hitting that share button. And let's listen to Dandelion.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
I love that song. It makes me happy to think about, even when things are seemingly going chaotic and not working the way we want them to work, that we can stay in our peace inside of us. I love, we just lost a very beautiful soul that walked on this planet, Thich Nhat Hanh. And I love his saying, walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. To me, that is the way to live life. That's just the way that when we adapt an attitude of gratitude, that's what we do. We just forget that, there's another way of doing things. We go through life just remembering who we are. And ShaRon Rea is with me. And ShaRon is certainly a woman who knows who she is and remembers her magnificence. And ShaRon, you have helped so many to understand the concept of loving unconditionally, of no judgment, just being and respecting and honoring each other. ShaRon, I would like to start out the show sharing your pledge.
Just went to get it.
I love it. Well, I am going to show it. So
Awesome.
get to it.
Thank you, Teri.
Oh, absolutely. I love this. So, for anyone out there that's watching, and I know we have viewers, this is the No Judgment, Just Love Pledge. Let's say this. I
pledge
to know we
we
all
judge.
and that's
And
human.
that's human.
It's what I
What
do
I do
next that matters.
I pledge
to
recognize when I'm judging
harshly.
Pause
And change
to something different. I pledge
to know I don't
have to understand everyone.
I can just
allow and let them be. I pledge to be the joyful expression of forgiveness
and truly
let things go.
I pledge to open my heart and live ways that inspire others to live with no judgment, just love. I love this. And you can find this and much more wonderful, powerful information at www.njjl.world. That's no judgment, just love. That's what that stands for.
Yep.
ShaRon, talk to me about this pledge. How did this come to you?
You know, I have been just graced with this movement, this path, this intention to be this message. You know, Thich Nhat Hanh was just a calm, beautiful soul that gave us so many different ways to look at life here. And there are so many other teachers, you, Teri, lots of the people that you and I know. And what we were just talking about before the show came on, I feel like there was a before ShaRon and an after ShaRon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was a major event in my life that was just horrific. And it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I kept feeling horrible and awful. But once I moved through that, I decided to start my own business of family coaching. And I felt that we have a lot of people that take care of the kids and really wrap their arms around them, as we should. But there, at the time, which has been like 12 years now, there were not many people helping parents. And I was a young parent. I had just gotten divorced. I had 2 teenage daughters. This was not easy. And in making this new business, which I didn't train to be an entrepreneur, it's just in my spirit, someone said, well, you have to have a tagline. You have to have a line that, you know, describes what your business is. And I'm like, okay, and it can't be long. All these rules. And as I was pondering it, it just came to me, no judgment, just love. It's not even a phrase I had thought about. It's not even a concept I thought about. And when I heard those 4 words, it was magical, because what it meant to me at the time is quite different than what it means to me now after practicing it for this long. It meant that I want to be able to coach parents and families, no matter what they are dealing with, without a conclusion about it from me, which would be a judgment. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for the business. The name of my business is The Whole Family Coaching. And the tagline is no judgment, just love.
No judgment, just love. It's your movement. It's such a beautiful statement.
Yes.
You know, yes. And that's really all we need is love. It really
and
is.
You know, we do, Teri. And the challenge for us on this earth is love has so many sticky definitions attached to it, so many things that have caused people to say they don't believe in love because they've been hurt, or I don't understand love because what I've been shown is the opposite of love, called in the name of love, abuse and disregard and all of that. So it's a challenge for some people to embrace the love part. But it seems very quick that people can resonate with the no judgment. And I came about this pledge as a way, because I have it on my website, you can download it for free, or I have these cards that I mail to people along with 2 magnets. Let's see, let me get off of this view.
I can see it if you hold it right in front of your face.
There we go. There we go.
Love.
Yeah, and it says, everyone deserves love without judgment. I always give 2, and these I just give away to whoever walking around town because I want, and they're magnets. So one for you and one for you to share with someone you think needs this message. And so how to live this way is the intention of those 4 words. Because of course, like the first pledge says, we judge all the time. We judge ourselves, and more often than not, it's a harsh judgment on ourselves. Yeah. And then we look out at the people in the world on TV, and we just, if they don't resonate with us, we judge them harshly. If they resonate with us, we judge them with more kindness. But we judge. That's who we do. I mean, that's who we are. We're human. And so these 4 words are asking you not to not be human. Go ahead, judge all the time. And have your opinions and have your anger and have your frustrations. But then take a pause. Don't stay there. And see how you can move yourself closer to a loving space, a more peaceful space. And that's what these 5 pledges hopefully help you do.
So love that, ShaRon. I use the pause a lot in what I do as a counselor as well and a coach. But I love that statement. It's what you do next that matters. Because when we take that pause, that gives us a chance to step away. Yes. It gives us a chance to become the observer. And when we do that, we're stepping away from those buttons that were pushed or that memory of sometime when we were treated unfairly, maybe, and we're responding to that. We're responding to how we've probably always responded. So it gives us an opportunity to say, wait a minute, let me take a look at this. Is this true that that person is saying something that, I don't agree with, or let me look at what they're saying. So it really is an opportunity for you to step back and really look at situations. The other thing I want to say, I'm a trained facilitator with Heart Math Institute, who, as you know, has developed the heart-brain coherence. Well, when I was taking my training with Greg Braden, he explained that when they do the heart-brain, when they teach it, they tell you to think of an energy of compassion, energy of warmth, and something that is really fulfilling to you. And they talk about all of these things. They never mention love. And the reason they don't tell you to hold love in your heart is because of what you just said. So many people have that distorted vision or that distorted thought about what love is. Mm-hmm. And when I say love, I think unconditional, agape, perfect love, which is what we truly are inside, but we're working our way to that, But we don't say that when we do the heart brain because of the reason stated that you have so many different versions of what love is. So we say compassion and caring and understanding and connection with others. So it's really interesting, isn't it? When we talk about no judgment, just love.
Yes. And Teri, you and I are very skilled at helping people uncover new ways to define their lives as coaches and, facilitators. And one of the things that is very, and we were talking about this before we came on, is I'm very aware now of words and how people use words and how there is less attention giving to how and why they use the words, and more just, this is the word I use and I don't really think about it. With love, I obviously I wasn't going to edit what I received as a divine download, because that's what they gave me.
Exactly.
So, but in trying to live it and explain it to people and make it as simple as possible, I didn't want to remove the root, because the root is love. And so I completely respect Greg Braden, especially, and the Heart Math Institute. And you and I, we've done the heart, brain heart coherence. And I that is appropriate to insert words that people don't have a negative vibration for. And at the same time, I want to bring awareness that love can be all that it is.
Yes. Absolutely. And, we love by example. We show others how to care, how to have compassion when we do that. And that is the pure form of love. When we can get out of our way and stop tearing it apart and analyzing and saying, no, I don't want any of that. I had that and it didn't work out so well.
If, with your permission, I want to talk a little bit about that concept of love and what it means for me. And maybe this will be confirming for some people that are watching, or maybe illuminating. But love for me now has a higher energy to it. It has a more personal resonance in how I live it. And what I mean by that is I have fully embraced the truth for me and the awareness for others that we are all connected through energy. We are all sincerely one concept. We're just different aspects and personalities of that one concept. And that concept, as I understand it, is a generous and compassionate and giving and understanding energy, for whatever you want to call the main head guy or girl or whatever it is for you.
Power that be.
The power that be. And in that space, I also resonate with the African phrase of Ubuntu, which is, I am me because of you. I can't be human by myself. I have to interact with other humans to be human. And so from that space, love has become, I have become more willing to uncover how I love myself. And that takes on so many different ways. Do I love myself enough to give myself permission to hang out on the sofa and do nothing if I want to? That's a loving thing for me. Do I give myself permission to say no, mean it, and not feel guilty if somebody asks me to do something? Do I give myself permission enough to look at this body that used to look way different in my 20s and say, I love you still, without categorizing what parts I like, what parts I don't like? It's just, as the totality, you, my body, have been with me for a long, long time and gone through a lot of stuff. So I love me and you. And from that, when I can, I'm getting goosebumps, but when I can embrace that for me, then the eyes that I look out at the world now come from this practiced place of what love can mean. So when I look out at you and with this pledge for the third one, to know I don't have to understand everyone, I can just allow and let them be. Somewhere in our history, we've given ourselves permission to manage other people's lives. Like, whatever you're doing, if I don't like it, I get to tell you I don't like it, and I get to tell you how you should do it. Whoa, where did that come from? And more than that, when you try to manage someone else's life, you have no control over their life. Don't y'all know that?
No control over anybody.
Say what?
We have no control over anybody.
Right. The only people we have control is over ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I really thought about, practiced, and engaged with people that I just vehemently disagreed with, or why are you taking a left when you know it's easier to go take a right if I'm riding with someone? I realized I gotta just let them be. There are a whole other reasons why that I'm not going to go into right now. They're very high spiritual for me, personal for me, but I'm really looking at people going, you know what? If I agree with you, I'm going to love you close like you, Teri, all the time. If I disagree with you, I'm going to love you, but I'm going to love you from over here and you get to be over there.
That's right.
I'm not going to try and tell you how to change and just like, hey, have a nice day, bless you, and let you go.
That's it. ShaRon, I have a saying, and I know it was inspired by the angels, but I say every day, I say it to myself, and I do say it to others, stay in your own lane.
Yes.
Stay in your own lane. You don't have to drive that car that's right beside of you. Let them drive their car. Let them go down their path and, make wrong turns or take the long way around or whatever they're going to do. Let them do it. And you focus on you. And when you do that, oh my gosh, life gets so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have all of these things you're trying to control anymore. You just focus on you, because we can't control anybody else anyway.
No, they most often, not even your kids, not even your spouse.
Right.
I want to share a quick story about that because, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, I got to do a little TED talk about No Judgment, Just Love. So I was giving 3 examples, different examples about it. And the one that relates to let people, don't try and judge them or, define why they're doing what they're doing. So after the divorce, I got to move into a house and I didn't want the girls to see it. I have 2 daughters and they were 9 and 15. I didn't want them to see this new place yet because it was still icky until it was, I had decided. I went in and I loved the house, decided to purchase it, and right before you move in, you have a walkthrough. And it was a big, big house. And when I got into the house with my realtor, oh my gosh, it was filthy. There were dust bunnies big as rabbits. I mean, it was just awful. And of course, where did I go? To the judgment zone. I'm like, how could somebody leave this house this way? Don't they know that somebody new is moving in? Why didn't they clean it up? And I'm doing all this, and my realtor goes, ShaRon, the father is in the hospital on life support, and they're not sure if he's going to make it. I know you went through all what you just said, and I didn't stop you right away, but I have a check here for you from them to get the house cleaned because they couldn't. Boy, did I feel like the smallest, tiniest, worthless little person. Mm-hmm. And so that really resonates with me, to just allow people to be, let them be, go ahead and judge, but pause and find a different definition for what you see them doing or not doing.
It's an awesome story because it gave you a chance to have that thought. We never know what somebody else is going through. So obviously there was a homeowner before you, so you didn't know what they had gone through or were going through.
Right.
Yeah, it was a teaching moment.
Oh my goodness. But but humans, we often go to the worst scenario. You know, somebody did this on purpose and they're trying to do this to me. And sometimes that's true. Oh, yes, that's true. So be aware of that. But more often than not, it's not. There are an infinite number of reasons why people do things that look to you like the awful, the worst, the bad, the terrible. And so if you can embrace this pledge, this part, I don't have to understand everyone. I can just allow and let them be and go on my merry way.
Navigate your lane.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh my
Teri, I
gosh.
want to talk about the one next to the last one real quick, and then we can move on to a different subject, which is I pledge to be the joyful expression of forgiveness and truly let things go. So in my coaching families, and especially I work a lot with people going through divorce and raising teenagers. Talk about unforgiveness in those areas, holy cow. So I wonder if there are any people in the chat, if you can write down for us, what is your definition of forgiveness? How do you define forgiveness?
I'm going to ask that question. How do you define forgiveness? See if we get any answers. We have Suzanne with us. Hi, Suzanne. We have Auntie Jean Lorio.
Hello.
So happy to have you all with us today. So let's see if we have anything that comes in on that. And yeah, that's a biggie.
Okay.
And, you know, ShaRon, I think a lot of people, when they think of that word, they think outside of themselves. They think, oh, I have to forgive somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, some incident that happened. I have to forgive it. But let's hear what people have to say, and then we can hold more of a discussion on this. I love this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I see Terry LaCicero's name. Hi, Terry. And Tammy Collins.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
So happy you all are joining us.
Me too.
Okay, Suzanne says, I don't have any definition, but I am quick to forgive.
Wonderful.
That's a bonus.
Wonder
You get
how
extra points for that one, Suzanne.
Yes, yes. Ding, 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 ding. So while people are thinking, Terry, let me just share with everyone how I put forgiveness in a place where now it's joyful. It's not begrudging. It's not, oh, I should. It's actually joyful. I've come in my own way to realize, and you can agree or not agree, but everything that happens is emanating from me. I'm the director of this life movie. I'm the cast. I get to hire and fire y'all. I play the music. What?
You're the star.
Yes, I write the script. I change the scenes. I yell cut, all of that. I am directing this life. Now, of course, everybody else is in it interacting with me because of Ubuntu. I can't be a director without other people. But in that space that I understand, no matter what anybody does, I get the chance to define it. And the way I get to joyful forgiveness is when people are doing things out and I have judged them as harsh, they didn't step away, they're just doing their thing. I have stepped away in my eyes of seeing everyone from a loving place and moved away from that. And so to joyfully forgive them, I just readjust my view to know you are valuable. You get to be here just as much as me, and that is a privilege and a gift. And I forgive me for judging you harshly and seeing you something other than pure love, just like me. And that feels good.
It does feel good. It feels awesome. And yeah, it's mutual respect. And you're right. We all do judge. I'd love to read Auntie Jean's comment.
Yay. Hi, Auntie Jean.
She says, "What a wonderful conversation. I keep learning that love is not just between two people. It is more a state of being in spirit, and it applies to us all as one creation." I'm sorry I was writing this before you asked the question. If we don't judge in the first place, we don't need to forgive. Accept everyone as part of you. If you feel you have to forgive, you are forgiving yourself in truth.
Ah, that is beautiful, Auntie Jean. And you are absolutely in my space with forgiveness is not necessary where judgment doesn't exist. It's just not. But we're human still. And we're going to judge. But I love what you said. That's beautiful. Thank you.
I love
Thank you
that
for writing
too.
so much.
Yeah. It took me a long time, ShaRon, to understand forgiveness.
Mm.
And, I've had lots of things happen in my life. And I always looked at it from the victimhood standpoint and seeing that somebody did something to me. And I was going to hold on to my little grudge. I was going to hold on to my anger. I was not going to forgive them. I was wronged, and so therefore I was going to hold this energy. And it took me so many years of misery, because it is misery when you're in anger and you're holding that judgment and it eats at you on the inside. But it took me all these years until probably, 10, 15 years ago to let go of some of the grudges I was holding. And once I did, it was freedom. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have done this like 20 years ago and felt this good. But we do that, don't we? We hold on to the anger because we feel like we're justified. We hold on to that thought of, you did this. You're the one that hurt me. I'm going to be angry at you forever.
And I'm justified in doing that.
That's right. And there are so many people that are that way. I was one of them. I'll raise my hand because I did it. And, it's when you open your eyes and you realize what this life is all about, we're going to have that contrast. We're going to have that person that doesn't like us, and that's okay. You don't have to like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I realize that, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But don't judge me.
Mm-hmm.
Just accept that maybe I'm a little different. Maybe I'm a little quirky.
I went on vacation when I first met my former husband, and we went to Antigua, and it's a Caribbean, and there's lots of cute sayings, delicious food, water, all that. And I remember this guy, I don't know how we got in this conversation, but I was complaining about something. And he said, well, why don't you just see that person as a happy-go-lucky fish? I was like, a happy-go-lucky fish? What's that? Just send them off happy and lucky you don't have to deal with them anymore.
Oh my goodness, I'm so going to use that. Yeah. In your lane and let them jump into the ocean.
Exactly. Teri, I mean, life is a joy. I write that on my Twitter page. I write that everywhere. And, it's a journey to get there sometimes. But when you're there, oh my goodness, it's just a feeling that is inconsistent with the way I used to live, the before ShaRon. I was happy, but it was a kind of fake happy. It was like bright
Yeah.
smile that had a lot of sadness behind that. And now, if I'm not happy, my whole essence is, okay, change something, change something. And you're the director, so you can rewrite the script. Fire that person if they're not, playing in the play the way you want. Change the scenery, move the destination. I mean, anything.
Have that option.
Take a nap and
Yeah.
try and start again.
Right. Sometimes, so many times we beat our head up against the wall about people that are in our life and they're not doing what we think they should be doing. And in essence, it's like, it's on us. We're the one that needs to pay attention to what we're doing and go about our own lane, and whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. And once we can realize that we don't have any say-so in how anybody lives their life, we really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're doing something terrible against you, which, that happens, people do that, then of course, you're not going to lay down and be a doormat. You're going to speak with your authentic voice and say, I'm thinking I'm just going to separate at this time from this relationship. And I have done that, ShaRon. And it feels so liberating to not have to anymore think about how you're being treated or what's going on. You just walk away in peace. And wow, what a thought that we have that control over ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where the control is. It is empowering, Teri. And we sometimes think we have no control because people won't do what we want them to do, or, our world right now looks kind of scratchy. But we have complete control over how we react, how much we engage, how we engage, whether or not we engage. And once we can embrace that power, you're right, it's freedom. It's self-love. It's unconditional. And it is how, if more of us could live that way, wow, would that be amazing?
Stop reacting. I was listening right now. There's a lot of focus on Thich Nhat Hanh because he did just leave his physical body. And I was listening to a speech that his assistant gave, and it was so beautiful and so inspiring to me. And he was telling about a time when they were doing a walking meditation. And in their walking meditation, they walk very slowly. And they walk, like he said, as if you were kissing the ground. So you really, you breathe and walk, and your body is just moving in this slow energy of just taking in everything in the moment. So they were all these monks that he was with were doing this walk. And he said there was a dog in the village, and it was like their village dog, and it had been barking like crazy. And somebody decided to go check to see why the dog was barking. And when they went to see, they yelled out, "Fire!" And so all the monks, everybody was like scattering, and they're like, "Oh, let's get out of here." And so they all just like rushed out of the building, and we're all into the energy of something's wrong. And he said, and we look back, and they call him Tay. There was Tay doing the slow walk.
Oh, yes.
And what an example he is for all of us. We don't have to do the we can say, okay, I know I'm taken care of. I know I'm protected. I'll get there when I get there.
Yes. Yes.
And I loved that story. I just loved it because to me, it's just the kind of person he was, that he lived his life that way. He didn't just speak it, he lived it. Mm-hmm. And he was a peace activist. He was somebody that spoke up and made his voice known, how he felt about war and conflict, and that we could live a peaceful life and we could cohabit together in a world that works for everybody? You know,
Yes.
that question that we all are seeking the answer to, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the story is beautiful. And I believe just yesterday I saw the picture of him walking with a lot of monks behind him in the woods. And maybe that's the image that I have from the story that you're telling. And it also really resonates with me for our times right now, because like you said, Teri, we react instead of standing, sitting, walking, and take that pause to respond instead of just reacting to anything, the dog barking, and often we react in fear. And that's the real challenge for each of us, is that if something is startling, fire, of course you want to have the energy of, okay, I want to be safe. I want the people around me to be safe. And in that safety, don't forget that the universe, the God, the powers to be, they have you too. So when you're frantic, your brain has a block and you can't think straight. You're just in survival mode, which is appropriate for a lot of times, but not all the time. We can't constantly be in survival mode. And when you take that breath, I always say, taking a breath gives oxygen when you breathe into your brain, because it doesn't eat chicken and salad. It only gets its energy from air. And then when you exhale, you bring your hand down to your heart to center yourself in the center of you. And there are all your answers, all your inertia to go this way instead of that way. I love that story, that he was undeterred by the world around him and was so focused in him being who he is. Was, but is, because as he said, there's no birth, there's no death.
Right. He is still very much with us. And we're still learning from him, through the stories, through his legacy, through all of his beautiful teachings.
Oh, so many.
Oh, so many. And the one line that sticks out more than anything that I've ever learned from him is to do no harm.
Yes.
Do no harm to anyone or anything. And if we could just live our life that way, wow.
Oh.
We have the unity. You are the unity campaign coordinator for We the World. We'd have the peace. I'm the peace campaign coordinator. And it goes hand in hand. And if we could just live our life with that motto, do no harm, what a big difference this world would see if we could just adapt that.
Absolutely. I wonder if people would be willing to write in the chat what that means for them, to do no harm. And while you're thinking of something, when I first learned that concept, I lived in a house that had this bush around the mailbox. I don't know why anybody would plant a bush around a mailbox, going to grow, and then it covers the mailbox. But oh well, they did. And
hopefully it wasn't a rose bush, because they have thorns.
Fortunately, it was not a rose bush, and it was the only bush that I had to trim. So I didn't have the kind of clippers. I had these little tiny clippers.
Right.
Every 3 months or 4 months I'd go out. But when I learned the concept, or started to embrace it, about do no harm to anyone or anything, I started talking to the bush and saying, I don't want this to hurt you, but I need to trim you down so I can get to the mailbox, so the mailman, woman, whoever, can deliver my mail. I'm going to do this in about 2 minutes. Can you just move all your energy down to your roots, so when I cut off the top, it won't harm you?
How beautiful. Look at you. Oh, you're so amazing. So amazing. We have Amanda Summer says, do no harm is on each perception.
Amanda, go girl.
Yeah.
I love that. I got goosebumps freezing on that one.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Hello to Julie Kiss, who's with us, and Isabel Reese. All you beautiful people coming in, sharing this time with ShaRon and I, and feeling into the energy of peace. Right now, we're focused on 40 days of peace, looking at the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, who was a peace activist, and his desire, as mine, that I have come to really hold in the forefront of my mind, is peace on earth.
Teri, tell us a little bit about your Peace on Earth tour.
Absolutely. So I heard this nudge, and I didn't know quite what it looked like, but I just knew that I was supposed to be doing instead of simply speaking or sitting on the sideline waiting for somebody else to do. And I kept hearing the nudge to go and to do. And I'm like, well, I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know how I'm supposed to be going, because I didn't have a really stable vehicle that I could travel around in. So I just kind of kept putting it on the back and asking, okay, if you want me to go, let me know that this is the time I'm supposed to go. And it went on for, I would say, 3 years after I heard that I was going to be going and doing. And in that time, there were certain things that now I know had to fall into place before I could do what I'm doing. And one of those was my beloved pets that passed and left their physical body, because it would have been impossible to do what I'm doing with them. So anyway, I kept hearing it. And then finally, I heard a yes. And I'm going, oh boy, this is real. And this is really going to happen. And ShaRon, the interesting part was the divine timing, because it was right smack in the middle of the lockdown from the pandemic. And I said, oh my gosh, angels, are you not keeping tabs down here on Earth? Don't you know that, there's no travel right now? There's nobody that's going out and about. And it's like, yeah. And this is the perfect time for you to be out there. I'm like, okay. And so I did, and everything kind of fell in place for me to have the vehicle to go. And that's a miracle in itself. And it's another story for another day. But the fact that they just guide me wherever I need to be. And I can always have the hindsight and look back and see that the places they take me is just so perfect that I was there at that time. And what they're doing is having me travel through the country right now, through the US, and do land blessings. So everywhere I go, there's an opportunity to do it. And I've done 18 land blessings in 28 states.
Wow.
I've done one virtual land blessing, which I wasn't physically in that location, but somebody else was. And we were virtually bringing the blessing to the land. And there has been one peace pole that has been planted. And I'm hoping for many more of those. That was quite the experience, because we touched over 350 children that day.
Oh, yeah.
That were observing and participating in that peace pole planting and fully understanding what we were doing and how we were bringing peace to the forefront of them, to see every day in this object that says on it, may peace prevail on earth. So this is the journey. I travel, I talk to people about peace, what it means. I carry these little cards with me that say, I am grateful for you. Who are you grateful for? So it's an opening statement to have them think about gratitude and how they treat each other, and what's important in life and who's important. And then just recently, I added on the back of the card, the Peace on Earth tour, and information of how they can be involved, how they can have their own land blessing if they want. And the Peace on Earth tour is in really big letters. So when they flip the card over, that's really jumping out at them. And so usually the first question is, oh, what is that? What is that? And so there's an opportunity for discussion of what it is and how they can get involved. And so it's
Beautiful.
just a beautiful journey, ShaRon. I got to meet you in person.
Yes,
For the
and it
first
showed up on my
time.
Facebook page today, our meeting from a year ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was so beautiful. I have met so many wonderful people along the way. And this Peace on Earth tour it's become something that people are talking about now and really understanding the purpose of it. But what's happened is there's a whole community that are standing behind this mission. And there was one day that the angels inspired the thought that we are like peas in a pea pod. We are fed by the same source. We're all enclosed in this powerful protective energy. And so we became known as the Peas for Peace.
Oh,
It is a beautiful movement. And I've met many of the Peas now along the way, and hopefully we'll meet many more. So,
and tell them about your milestone that you just reached.
oh,
With
500 days on the road. Because
yes.
when I heard the message to go, it was leave everything. Just leave it all. I either gave it away, sold it, had somebody hold it for me or whatever, but I left everything, and whatever I own pretty much is in my car. And I travel around and just enjoy people that welcome me into their home. They're called hosts. So they have me come there, whether we do a land blessing or we just hold conscious conversations and talk to people in their community about peace. It's just a beautiful journey. And so it's
Teri,
500,
go ahead.
500 days and counting.
And counting. Yes. Oh my God. I just imagine that. That's just an incredible statement to make because of its genesis, which was faith and courage and wonderment and purpose, Teri, to just leave everything. I mean, I don't know how many people could, first of all, be willing to do that and don't know where you're going, don't know what's next, and just kind of trust that you're being guided. Wow.
ShaRon, when I was driving out of the state of Florida, that's where I had lived for most of my life. And I remember I was driving out of Miami on that day, September 11th of 2020. And I just had that flash of a thought, oh my gosh, I don't have any place to call home. I don't have any place to come back to once I leave here. And what I have learned along the journey is home is wherever I am.
Yes.
Because home is inside. It's in your heart. And this is another thing that Tay taught us, that it's not a destination. Home is not a destination. It's the journey itself. And when we can embrace that and know that everything we do, every action, every word, every thought, that is our home. Mm-hmm. And what kind of home are we making? Are we making a home that is peaceful, a home that's joyful and loving? Or is our home full of chaos? And if we want to really come home, truly come home to the spirit being that we are, then we're going to do that deeper dive and we're going to ask those important questions and pause and step back and look at the judgments and the criticisms that's bringing us to that lower vibration place. Because once we can work through all of that, we've come home.
Oh, Teri,
every place I go, it feels like home when I come in. And I'm getting ready to come to your beautiful home.
Yes, you
very
are.
Soon. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm hosting Teri here in Scottsdale. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Scottsdale, Arizona. Here we come. I did do a land blessing in Arizona. It was.
Oh, you did? Where?
It was in Sedona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place by the water there and those awesome red mountains.
Yes.
And the energy was so powerful, so very powerful.
So you contemplate and ask your team, is there a land blessing you want to do while you're here with me? I mean,
and
that just came to, yeah. Well, we
Yes,
could sure use it.
absolutely. I hear that so much, ShaRon, when I travel into places. It's like, oh boy, do we need that? I'm like, yes, we do. And the
Yes.
beauty of it is each place that a land blessing is done is connected to the next one. So
Yes.
it's just a constant flow of energy. And it feels like, I'm pretty sure they're building a grid across the
Yes.
country where it's all
Mhm.
communicating with each other. And it's all saying, let's bring in peace on earth, because it is. It's here. We're just opening up to it and clearing away some of the cobwebs so we can see it, right? And
Yes.
feel it and
Yes.
touch it.
But I like what you said, that, there's a song, Peace Begins With Me. I am the peace that I want to see in the earth, in the world. And it's already here in us. Even if our life is chaotic, our essence is peace, which is love, which is who we naturally are. And like you said, I had a wonderful image of healing. This person said, do you know the statue of David from Michelangelo? How beautiful that piece of marble was carved. Well, at some point, that was just a big block of marble. And what Michelangelo did was he saw David in there and just chipped away what wasn't David. And I just love that.
He set David free.
Yes. And so there is peace within us already. And we just chip away what isn't that peace.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I have loved this conversation so much.
Me too.
We have some comments, and people have responded to our conversation and to
wonderful.
questioning. And Isabel Reese, hello, darling. I've been in Isabel's home. She was one of my hosts, and such a beautiful, beautiful, loving soul. She says, I've been living my life by don't do to the others what you wouldn't like to be done to yourself. But obviously, it has been not serving me very well. People walk all over me that way. So learning a new mantra and way to look at situations.
Yes, Isabel.
Love it, Isabel.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Amanda says, so if we yell, it may harm one, but not the other. Do unto others what we want done to self. Again, it's all learning, so no judgments. We are here to learn and to be able to learn. We have to be open to it.
Yes. Every day, all day. Isabel, I want to share something that I teach or offer for people to consider, because what you're describing in my custom was the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. And in communication, at least, and possibly in life, I offer people to consider the platinum rule. And the platinum rule takes a little bit of work because it's do unto others as they would like to be done, which causes you to have to learn a little bit about them.
Yes. We never know. That person may be an angel unaware. It may be somebody that becomes very, very special and important in our lives. Take the time to know each other. Take the time to listen. We've kind of lost that art of listening. And let's do some more of that. As you sit with somebody, don't talk about the weather. Talk about what that person experiences in their life. Are they happy? And I love asking that question. And, one of the first homes that I stayed in, there was someone that was on the spectrum. So her world, I say she lives in a rainbow world. No, I say she lives in a tie-dye world because she loves tie-dye. And so every night I would hear her talking to the dog, the family dog, and she would say, are you happy?
Aww.
And I thought, wow, why aren't we humans saying that to each other?
Yes.
Why aren't we asking that person that we say we care about? We say, I love you, right? We say all these wonderful things, but are we really knowing if they're happy? And happiness is an inside thing. It's not something that's going to come from our environment or the people around us. It's our own peace inside of us. So if you're sitting with someone and you're having maybe a dinner conversation or, just sitting and chatting, just ask them, are you happy? And see what the response is. It may be their opportunity to speak, to feel safe enough to speak because you asked the question. So obviously, you're safe enough to have that question come from you. So you're safe enough to hear how the answer is going to come forth. But I love doing that. I love just seeing how we can get more in touch with each other, more deep into each other. And that's where we're all going to just let down our obstacles, let down our barriers, and say, let's live in a world that we can all get along in. Let's stop all the comparison and the competition and
the labels.
And thinking if you have something, then obviously I can't have it. There's more than enough for everybody in this world. Yeah.
More than enough. Teri, this is beautiful. Is anybody else that you saw in the chat that had something?
Well, I saw Amanda again says, when I became homeless for the first time, it was such a rush getting out, getting everything in storage. And I sat like, whoa, where do I call home? And my van became it. Depend a lot of time by the water, etc. Crazy tons of attachment lifted. Oh, yeah. But also can say, I do miss home, even though I make anywhere I'm at home.
Yes.
That's it. We make our home.
That's beautiful, Amanda. And I've heard it reframed that people that at the moment don't have a house, that home is wherever you are. So no one is really homeless because we all have someplace that we are. May not be the home that we would desire or that someone looking at us would think is a home, but with no one is homeless.
We have someone on Twitch. I just started going on Twitch and I wasn't sure when I went on that platform because I'd never done it before. I wasn't sure what kind of audience I would get. But we have someone, Dream of Velveteen. I love that. Oh. And they say comparison is the thief of self-worth.
Oh, ding, 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 100%.
Yeah.
What was it? Velveteen, what's the first word?
Dream of Velveteen.
Dream of Velveteen. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I'm taking that to heart.
Absolutely. Yeah. So amazing. Oh, ShaRon, I have loved this conversation. I see that we went over time, but people have stayed for the conversation because they really enjoyed it. And so did I.
Me too. Thank you, everybody.
Joining us. And so, ShaRon, tell us a little bit about how people can get in touch with you and work with you. I know we gave your website out, social media, any way that they can interact with you.
Well, I'm doing a little self-care now and not on social media so much, but I do have a Facebook page. It's my name, ShaRon Rea, AZ. That same name is my Twitter handle. I'm on Twitter. Also on Instagram, not as much, but I have a No Judgement, Just Love Instagram and a ShaRon Rea Instagram. You can reach me at ShaRon at njjl.world. Same as the website, www.njjl.world. I am a family relationship coach, and I know in this time of transition and frustration, and we're still, not free to move around the world fully, that you might benefit from a conversation of new ideas, new ways to look at things. I always offer a free conversation, so you can email me there at ShaRon at njjl.world, or if you go to njjl.world, you'll see a contact page. So that's how you can reach me. I'd love to engage with you, support you, I always place people either in my home or virtually on the comfy
Big
couch.
couch. I love that I know that.
And I invite people to come sit with me on that comfy couch, virtually or in person, and know that you have a safe space to unleash your joy and upchuck your frustrations. And there will be no judgment.
That's right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. I'm so looking forward to seeing you very soon. And thank you to everyone that was here with us today and stayed for the conversation and participated in the conversation. Thank you so much. We love you. We bless you. And as I like to say, stay in your heart and stay blessed, because you certainly will if you think with your heart and not with that ego mind. So,
Thank you,
ShaRon,
everyone. Have a
so
beautiful
many blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day or your night, wherever somebody may be.
Yeah.
I love you. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.